Hello and welcome to this restoration of 1989's Batman by Tim Burton. Now, I saw this movie when I was 11 years of age. It was 1989 and it was phenomenal. It was a huge box office success. Now, for a lot of fans, and there are many fans of this movie who adore this film, and it has a very special place in their childhood or whatever age they watch this film, were not particularly happy with the 4K restoration that took place for cinema release in 2019. Whether you like the color changes or the sound changes, that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is Warner's not doing anything to fix or alter many of the movie's mistakes and errors so easily could have been done. So we're going to start off with one of the biggest bones of contention, and that is the makeup smudge on Jack Nicholson's neck as he reveals himself to be the Joker. Many people, and you can see it here, notice a huge purple smudge on his neck. Easily fixed. All we have to do is extract a piece of skin from somewhere else on his person. And not just a still image, it has to be moving film. And we can carefully track the motion and place it over with a soft edge, and it looks great. The next one is the Bat Belt. One of Batman's little comic errors, so we just extract the belt from a few frames before, replicate it, and place it back over. Now this one, the museum. Oh, many people hate the continuity errors in this scene. Here we see one of the goons, he's plastering that painting with handprints, and then in the next shot they're gone. So we motion track and place those handprints back. Likewise, later on in the sequence, he's throwing the paint, we can see the hands are gone. So we just motion track and place them back, and then the sequence is complete. The surgery scene. Just a small fix, but especially in the 4K restoration, we can see that the instruments that the surgeon is using are covered in a salmon-coloured brown blood. So, Photoshop, we fix that frame by restoring it to red. Now, so many people commented on this, and there was a crying out for the colour white to be placed on Jack Nicholson's face and his hair to be coloured green as he exits the surgery. He's only very small in the frame, so that's what we've done here. You can see the comparison side by side. We've just used Photoshop again to rotoscope the colour white and the colour green on his skin and hair, and you can just about see it. Okay, that moves us on to another bone of contention with Batman 1989. Now, it is 1989, there are no computer effects, there may be a little bit of digital compositing going on, but the film relies mainly on miniature effects, as you can see here. When the Batwing crashes, one of the big giveaways for miniatures that almost spoils the shot here is the difference in scale between the miniature models and the flame. You can see the car on the right here has a particularly large flame, which is out of scale in real life with the size of that car. So what we're going to do, we're going to extract a little bit of the cathedral wall on the left side, place it over the right side. It's going to cover up that flame. It's going to add a symmetry to either side of the doors, and then when we play it back, you'll see the flame is gone and the car is effectively scaled up in real world terms. But another problem with this shot is that the editing, although good in 1989, this shot of the Batwing on the steps with the cars is far too long. It lingers way too long. So we cut that down, cut straight to Vicky. It helps the pace of the scene, and then we can move on. The most difficult and most time-consuming effect to have completed is this one. Not many people notice this until it's pointed out, but when the Joker's on the top of the cathedral, he's dancing around, when it cuts to an overhead shot, he has a red jacket. Now this is down to blue screen compositing. Because it's a photochemical process, you lose colours in that process, and sometimes they change or they desaturate. In this case, the purple jacket becomes more of a pale brownish red. So we take the film footage at 4K. It's great that we have 4K now, that it makes these things so much easier. There's enough of a pixel resolution to be able to manipulate it in the likes of Photoshop, and we get a great result. So we bring it in and we hand paint every single frame of the sequence. It takes a long time to do. This is a rough version that you're looking at, because we go into incredible intricacies to make sure that it's very, very neat in the final restoration. So here we can see a comparison. You can see the Bat logo on the chest of Batman also suffered some color loss. It becomes white after the blue screen compositing. So we've gone back and replaced the yellow tone that it should be. Likewise, all the overhead shots of Jack in the purple jacket. There's the arm. We've colored back to the most appropriate matching purple that we could find. Yes, rotoscoping takes a long time to do, but if you want to be precise, you got to put the work in. You can't rush art. I think we spent about 3 to 5 days manipulating every single frame that needed to be in this sequence. And there were hundreds of frames that this is much needed. There's no reason why Warner's couldn't have put some budget aside for the 4K restoration, had some proper artists and colorists to do these changes. I mean, we're just working off a fairly good Apple Mac, and it really didn't take us that long to do. I think with the kind of money Warner's could have thrown at it, they could have done a better job. Now this one, Joker's Fall, this doesn't really need to be fixed, but the sort of clay model that they use for Jack as he falls doesn't look good, and the fall is actually at 12 frames a second as opposed to normal film speed, which is 24 frames a second. That's why it's a little bit jittery, a little bit juddery on the movement. So what we're trying to do here is just increase the likeness of Nicholson on the actual clay miniature that they used. So we go back earlier in the scene and we extract a segment of his face when he's looking up at the camera, color match it to the model, motion track it, and just for that split second we have a better likeness of Nicholson. Now the bat signal, this is something that doesn't particularly need to be updated, but it is 2019, and the effect in the original film still looks a little bit flat because it's fairly old. It's 30 years old or more. So what we're going to do here is we are going to replace the sky with some HD clouds that are actually moving across camera. We're going to put the bat signal back, give it a slight glow, a little bit of a diffuse. So now we just have that extra depth and perspective. When it comes to Vicky's point of view when she looks up at the buildings, there's a few issues here. We have some incredibly thick matte lines around the buildings, which is a result of blue screen compositing. So we're going to strip the sky away, place a green screen in so that we can see the edge, and add a very tight mask around the buildings. That's just going to refine the edge. Again, we put our HD moving clouds in, replace the bat signal, add a diffuse glow, and now we have a slightly updated version of the shot, which you can see here. It's a little nicer. And then we come to the end. Now, Batman standing on top of the building here. It may be a man in a costume, it may be a model, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, that his ears are almost not present. They're so tiny in the shot. So we're just going to increase those ears by taking a piece of Keaton's footage from when he was in the Batwing. So this has just been a fun project to do. Many people say, well, it's not really necessary, but it was a small amount of time to spend on a motion picture to improve some of the shots that suffer from continuity errors or compositing errors or various other things like that. So we don't mind doing it. We are Double O Productions, and we take pleasure and pride in doing these little tweaks for the fans. We also restored the original Dolby Stereo mix from 1989 because many fans were not happy with that either. Don't shoot me, but I am actually a fan of the restored and contemporized sound effects. I like them. But once we'd done 89 Batman, we moved on to Batman Returns, which again has some problems. The one you can see here is the missing makeup behind the eyes after Keaton tears off his cowl and reveals that he's Bruce Wayne. Always looked comical in the movie. One shot he's got makeup, the next shot he doesn't. So we just motion tracked him and added a black matte at a layer blending option so that you can still see the skin underneath. And then it matches with the movement of his head. Not too difficult to do, but we'll do a whole new video on Batman Returns. So anyway, thanks for watching. We hope you like some of the changes that we've made, whether you think they're necessary or not. It was just a fun project to do. And we are Double O Productions, and that's what we do. Thanks for watching, guys.